Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to Brownstone's Best on KCCR Radio, the Brownstone Center, and also brownstoneworldwide.com. It's your girl, Paulette, and I am the owner and founder of brownstoneworldwide.com and all of its subsidiaries, including KCCR Radio. We are so excited, you guys, to bring you today a new series for the entire month of August. But since it's going so well, we're thinking about keeping it, and it's called Brownstone's Best. Why are we doing this particular special? Because we want you guys here in the virtual world to find out more about the businesses that are here to serve you. And we want to know the magic that makes their businesses what their businesses are. So today we have Dr. Michele that is going to be joining us, and she's going to be telling us all about her business. But before we do that, you are currently listening to KCCR Radio, the Brownstone Center, where we are changing the narrative. Welcome home. And to you, Dr. Michele, welcome home to the Brownstone. Come on in here and let's set a spell. Tell us, dear ma'am, more about your business and what you do. I'm excited to learn more.
Okay. So hello, everyone. Hello, world. My name is Dr. Michele. I am debt-free with 3 degrees, and I am a financial coach. The name of my business is Mogul Beginnings, and I help families escape the vicious cycle of being secretly broke so they can live the life of their dreams guilt-free. So that's kind of in a nutshell what I do.
Oh, so I don't know if anybody else caught that, but she says she has 3 degrees and she is debt-free. I want to dig into that first. Ooh, I know that's right. So listen. So that just piqued my ear right there. So what your business basically does is it helps people to understand that they too can be debt free. Is that what I'm understanding? Mm-hmm. So tell us, how did you do it?
So it's funny because when I say debt free, people assume that I started off with some form of debt, but it kind of goes back to the reason why I got started in business, which is my mom. She made sure that I went to school without accruing debt. And so once I got started in undergrad, so I left undergrad with no debt.
Okay.
I was exposed. Another big thing that she did for me was she made sure we were exposed to different things. And so I was always applying for things, looking for opportunities. And so I got an opportunity to go to Ohio, and I was recruited by Ohio State, the Ohio State University. And so my mom was like, I said, Mom, I want to go to school. I want to study statistics, but I don't know if I can do it because I'm obligated to teach. She said, well, just ask. So I asked, I wrote a letter to the dean like she told me to. I asked, they said, you can go get your master's. I wrote Ohio State, the recruiter. They were like, oh, yes, we'll send you up. Like, we'll fly you up. I said, oh, me? They flew me up. I went there to grad info day, and they were like, oh, we just need your GRE scores, and we'll get you a fellowship or a TA or, teacher.
Wow. That was it?
Oh, free. So,
oh my God. Okay.
That's what I did. But a big part of that is that a lot of people are not willing to do is go somewhere that they're not comfortable. In the Midwest, they are really lacking diversity, especially in math and science. And so that's why we were heavily recruited. And so I was like, well, let me follow the money, because I've always been like that. So I went there. And then since I knew it was now possible for me to go to school without paying, and they paid me to go to school too, so I could live. Then that was legit just the norm for me. I was not going to school any other way. So I decided to come back to school to get my PhD in epidemiology. I was only going to the place that was giving me money, and that was the University of South Carolina. So that is how I ended up having 3 degrees with no student loan debt.
So really what you're saying is you opened your mouth and you asked. Is that right? That's right. You better say that again. That is absolutely correct. I absolutely love that. So you guys, if I were you at this point, if you're listening to this podcast, if you're watching this video cast right now, I would grab pen and paper, because I don't know about y'all, but she just dropped a whole nugget on you all, right? And she said, ask. Ask. That's all you got to do. That's for, wait. Okay. Stop the end. Okay. Wait. What happened?
Must be some good stuff about to happen. That's what's about to happen.
My God. Oh my goodness. So let's just move on and continue to ask those questions. So the first thing that you did was you asked, and then you decided that you were going to go to University of South Carolina, and you got your PhD in epidemiology.
Mm-hmm.
So congratulations to you for that. So how does that feel? And now here's the other question that I have for you, um, from someone who has their doctorate. And we're not going to talk about how much I owe Uncle Sam. Let's talk about that. All right. So that's first. And so here's my question to you. Once you decided that you were going to get your PhD, you got that PhD, it was in your hands. What was the next thing that you did? Did you decide that you were going to possibly go get a job? Did you go get that job? What were the next steps that you were going to do?
Yeah. So for me, it was get a job. So when you're a student and living on student income, you're like,
Okay.
I need some money.
Okay.
So when I actually had already started working for I still work a 9 to 5. I was working there part-time as a student, and it came again at the right time. I needed some extra money. I was able to use my skills, and it opened the door for me to actually be a full-time employee. Let me just say another thing.
Okay.
I've never officially I don't think I've ever really applied for a job and had to compete for it. So every single job that I've had, it's always been just favor, opportunity, exposure, just a networking opportunity. And a lot of that, it's just favor. Like,
I love it. I
just walk into doors.
Okay. And so working a full 9 to 5, when did you decide that starting your own business was the thing to do for you? And why did you? Because here's the thing, you got your PhD, you're making good money, you got the 9 to 5, you pop in, you are the American dream. You are living what everybody talks about, right? In terms of being a Black woman in the US of A, doing your thing, and we both know that having that PhD or that high level of education, it's a thing for Black women. And I think it's just innately in us to grab that and to gravitate towards that so we can better ourselves, our family, our children, our spouses, if we're married and so forth. But the question that I think I have in the middle of all of this is, you could have stayed in that arena and been safe, right?
Yes.
You could have done that. Why now? What made you decide that it was time for you to do something different?
Actually, I've never really, even before 2019, I never had a desire to go into business for myself, be entrepreneur. It was only, I think my aunt was the only entrepreneur that I knew, and she wasn't super successful at it, like always having to kind of go in and out of a 9 to 5, or having to like get help type of deal. So never really had a desire to do it. But towards the end of 2019, I felt a push from the Lord, and I was just like, okay, well, what does this look like? What you want me to do? Because like you said, I'm chilling. I'm cool. I had a family again. I was living my best life. And I remember I talked to my co-pastor, and she said, it's probably something that comes natural to you, but that's hard for other people. So I kept thinking about it, and I was like, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what it is. And then I remember I saw an ad to get certified to be a financial coach. And I was like, that's it. I have been helping my friends do budgeting and managing their money and paying down debt for years at this point. I had made my own spreadsheet. I was sharing it with them for free. Can't get it for free.
Okay.
But,
more now.
So it was just, everything started to fall into place. And so I got the training. And then I don't know, it's just like things just start happening. I put myself out there, and the next thing you know, I'm starting to get clients. And so I'm like, oh snap. And the crazy part about it is it's kind of full circle, because I remember when I felt the nudge to go into business, I was like, well, I want to do something that honors my mom, because she passed away in 2013. And I wouldn't be here. I mean, physically wouldn't be here, but literally anywhere. Like, she is the reason why I, even in South Carolina, why I have a master's degree, why I have no student loan debt, why I think the way I do, the way I govern myself, the way I pray and have faith. Like, I wouldn't, so I was like, I really want to honor her and her legacy. And so financial coaching made perfect sense, because the way she was, how organized she was great with her finances. Like, she literally passed that down. So I have a generational perspective on my business. So it's just like, that makes perfect sense, because what she passed to me, I'm literally giving to other people in my business.
Okay, so you just like I thought, and that's not a bad thing, because when you're making a decent living and you're doing your thing, it's like, yes, I'm finally able to stand up. I'm able to put some things aside for myself, and then you get this calling, if you will, and it's beckoning you to get to the other side, right? And so you're here, and where exactly do you see where the doors started to open for you as a business owner? What were the first things that you did, and where do you see where where it kicked off? If that makes sense, if I'm asking the right question, right? So how has it been, first of all, and where do you see that opening for yourself, where people are starting to notice, or have already noticed, and your clientele have started to actually reap the benefits of being a part of your firm and what you offer in terms of your services?
So I think it started, or it felt like it was like real, once I started getting training.
Okay.
So learning how to be a better coach, and they were kind of taking us through exercises, and one of the first exercises they challenged us to do was to go out and get 20 rejections. So put yourself out there, because a lot of times, whether it's business or just personal life, we're afraid to hear no. We're afraid to be, rejected, because we feel like it's us. And so the first thing I learned was be comfortable with being told no. So it made me more fearless in going out there. And once I started putting myself out there, I started getting yeses. Okay. So I took my first client in like January of 2021. So that's when I felt like I was like officially in business. Like, I'm getting money coming in.
Okay.
So that felt really great. And it was gaining momentum. But when it didn't stay, like momentum didn't stay, I was like, oh, I actually got to like keep like working. I figured this thing out. And that's still the tricky part about entrepreneurship, especially if you're like an academic person like I am, where the effort you put in, you expect to get something out, right? So it's just like, okay, I'm putting in effort, I'm putting myself out there, I'm doing all the things. And when it doesn't return the way I think it should, I'm like, I mean, is something wrong with me? Am I doing this right? Like, if y'all be doing something different,
right.
I kind of go back and forth with that. When things aren't going how I want them, or I don't take off how I want, because I thought like everybody need a financial coach. I thought for sure as soon as I told people that I was a coach, they were like, "Oh yes, I need you." It didn't work like that at all.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So I had to learn how to do marketing, all that stuff. But from the little bit that I did do before I kind of got connected to other coaching programs, the little bit that I did do as far as staying present on social media, just even asking people, would you be interested? It made a big difference. I had a couple of people find me on Google.
Wow.
It's like, what did you search? And one young lady was specifically looking for a Black woman to help her. And so like it made sense. Like I had my face on, some of my stuff. So she booked me. And then the feedback that I get, like people are fearless. I think that's a part that I really didn't know was going to be a byproduct. And articulated it like, I'm not afraid anymore. It's not even like, oh, I know how to manage my money. It's just like, I feel powerful. Like I can do anything. Like if I want to start a business, I can do that. If I want to buy a house, I can do that. If I want to quit my job one day, I feel confident enough in the skills that I've learned that it'd be all right. If I lose my job, I'm gonna be all right. So the biggest like mind-blowing thing, I'm like, man, I didn't realize how powerful people were gonna feel as a result of taking control of this one area.
Yeah. And that is empowering when you sit back and you think about it. It's also a way to gain better peace, and you get to rest more when you understand exactly what it is about your finances that you need to do. So let's dig a little bit deeper into what steps someone would do when they're starting to work with you. Do you have different tiers, or do you just kind of do like a group session? Do you do webinars? What exactly are the steps that I need to do, first of all, as someone who wants to learn more about managing their funds? Do you help us with that? Do you look at our finances for us? Do you set it all up, or do you walk us through the process?
I used to do more of the like, let's look at all the things when I did one-on-one. but I found myself repeating myself a lot. And honestly, my eyes were not necessarily needed on their stuff. It was just, we just need attention. Like, let's talk about it. You can pull it up. You don't have to show me. It's not 100% necessary. So I have moved more to a group coaching model because I've seen the power that not just the coach has, but when you have other people that are also trying to reach the same goals, encouraging each other, because it can get tough sometimes, right? Especially if you have very aggressive goals. So having more than just one person to cheer you on, like I was like, oh yeah, I definitely need that in this finance space.
Okay.
So that the way you work with me is, if you kind of want to know who I am, like take a low risk, because a lot of times, you know, people are very skeptical now, and rightfully so. So, you know, I offer free online trainings as well as free challenges. And it's a way to kind of get in, see what I'm about. Like, no, she's legit. Like, what she's talking about is real. People are getting real results. And, you know, if they like it, they want to keep going, keep that momentum going, then I do have 2 tiers. One is like just a basic accountability. Like, you learn how to manage your money. We create a cash flow system, and we just monitor it and make sure that thing is working and running like a well-oiled machine, because it does take time to get better at it. And that's just the foundational level.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like, it's so much more beyond just learning how to just, you know, do, you know, people, everybody don't like the word budget. So, you know, I try to use cash flow system. But, in essence, it's a budget. It takes time to get better at it and to master it and feel confident without, you know, feel like, oh, I keep messing up. Like, well, why do you keep messing up? Let's figure this thing out. And sometimes it's just not giving yourself enough freedom.
Right.
Like, I have people that as soon as they hear budget, they think they have to scrimp. I'm like, you don't have to do that. Like, you're not poor. You put more money in your food budget.
Exactly. Yeah. So as a person who is looking to find you, and we're talking to you right now, and I'm going to go ahead and put your website up so that folks can find you at buildwealthfaster.com. Guys, again, that is buildwealthfaster.com. I am super excited to be sharing here with you guys today, Dr. Michele, who is going to be providing us some basic tips. That's going to be the next thing. So what are some tips that you would provide to our followers, our listeners, our fan base on how to start getting ready to work with you? What would they need to do? And also, what are those tips that people can take right now, basic things, before they actually reach out to you?
Okay. So before you reach out to someone like me, you could, one, get serious about what it is that you want out of life. Because, you know, when you have a why, it really does empower your momentum. You're not taking it for granted. You're not taking time for granted anymore. A lot of people just run out of time, whether it be losing a job, passing away, or whatever. So get serious about what it is that you want. Do you want a home? Are you approaching retirement and you just don't feel confident with what you have? Think about what that goal is. This next thing I would say to prepare to work with someone like me is to be open-minded. Like, if we talk about money, that's not the time to get closed mouth or embarrassed or shy. Like, open up, because that's the only way things are going to get better. If you want to be where you are, then you keep secrets. But if you really want to go to the next level, be open to what the coach has to say, but also be ready to talk about what's really going on with your life and in your finances. Don't hold anything back. Sometimes things don't seem like they're related, but if it feels natural to come up in conversation, go ahead and release it.
Right. Okay.
And then the last thing I would say is, don't be afraid to invest. I think a lot of times with any coaching space, when people recognize they need help, the biggest barrier is that they don't want to pay for it. For whatever reason, in our mind, we feel like we don't have to pay for help. I don't know where that comes from. I don't know. Like, well, you're supposed to be helping me. Well, okay, like, that's fine, but I still got to eat. So,
right.
And it's not even always about the person getting paid, but it's about your commitment. You are more likely to take something seriously if you have skin in the game. If I told you something was free, which I have free trainings, I have tons of people that don't show up, which means whatever good information I have for them, they miss out on. But if I put, $39.99 on it, more people are likely to show up because, like, you know what, I risked something to be here. So they're going to show up. So I would say, get serious about what you really want. Be ready to be open and transparent, and be okay investing in what you really want.
Okay. I love that. Now, the other thing that I want to ask you from a beautiful brown skinned girl's perspective, being a business owner, for those of us who are looking to get into this entrepreneurial space, especially in this place that we are right now in the US, where people are a part of the great resignation, where people have this dream to have a business. What bits of advice could you give someone in terms of starting their business? What would you give someone so that they can do it where they're okay, and there's no such thing as okay in entrepreneurialism. You and I both know that. But where did you get the fortitude within yourself to say, I am going to do this? And what level of advice would you give people at this point in the game to get started? Because I think that we as Black business owners really need to start telling more of the truth of what happens behind the scenes. And I say that, and I'm going to go here, and it might upset some people, but I'm just going to keep it 100. Everybody not walking around in 6-inch heels every day, building their business. Everybody is not, even if you're online, you're not going to find most people like myself and others who are constantly in front of the camera, living their best life with their weed flowing in the wind. I need to hear some truth from someone who is building their business grassroots from the ground up. What would you say to someone about your journey, and what bits of advice could you give someone to encourage another brown skinned girl to take the steps necessary to go where they want to go with their business?
I would say if it's purpose driven, then you can hold on to it when things aren't going right. Because I know, especially since I still have my 9 to 5, I can easily still be okay. I'm like, you know what? Because I think about it sometimes, but this is my purpose. And so because this is purpose driven for me, I got to keep pressing when things aren't going how I want them to go, whether good or bad. So I would say, connect to your purpose, or that why. Why are you doing this? Who do you want to impact? Is it something that someone showed you? Were you able to triumph over some type of trauma and you want to help people do the same? Know what that purpose is and that why, because it really will empower you and help you keep going. I will also say to get connected to some type of business coaching program, because I think I know people that are not, and it shows. You're in business for so long and you're maybe doing okay, but a lot of times I see business owners when they're trying to do it on their own, a lot of times, and a lot is that number 3 that I mentioned, not really wanting to invest to be better. A lot of times that's what it is. They stay stagnant for so long, or not able to sustain themselves. So they have to always be this, dual 9 to 5 person and trying to run their business, and it's really not growing. So I was like, no, I don't want to have to unlearn a whole bunch of stuff. So as soon as I saw an opportunity, I jumped on it, and I'm better. So it's just like I'm able to school people that's been in business for years. Because it's just like they've been doing it on their own. So I would say, don't do that. You don't have to do it on your own. Someone else has already made the mistakes for you. Like, I don't have to learn from my own mistake. I don't need to make them. Why?
Yes.
Someone has already made the mistakes for you, so you can learn faster and get where you got to go faster. Because I don't want to be on my 9 to 5 forever. Like, I want to be able to smoothly transition. So of course I got to plug, finance stuff. When you're looking to transition to full-time entrepreneurship, unless you've been forced into it, some people are forced into it, do layoffs and things like that. But if you want to transition, I would definitely say have a plan. You need an emergency fund. Give yourself like 3 to 6 months to figure this thing out to make some money. Or,
Right, exactly.
And then I'm struggling.
Right. Now that's a good question. When I heard struggling, the only thing that I can think of in my brain at this point is as a Black entrepreneur, especially in this space that we're currently in, where there's so many of us that are out there, right? And like you said, one of the things that I've also noticed as well is if you are not connected to the right groups of people, if you're not learning from a great mastermind or a great group of folks who've already kind of paved the way, you are going to find yourself stagnant. And I find that to be true, absolutely true for myself. I've been in business for 13 years, right? And just like you, I still have a 9 to 5. That is my personal choice at this point, only because I got bennies. All right. And I'm not really ready to kind of let that go. You know what I mean? So I kind of hold on for that. And but we're getting to the point where I won't be able to do that much longer. What I will say, and what I would like to ask is, let's get into some ugly. How do you handle the days where your data shows that you only had 20 people look at your site today? Hypothetically, how do you handle the days that when you're looking at the business bank account, the math ain't mathing? Okay, let's put that on the table, because that's what we're really here to do, is to provide some truth. We don't need to know numbers. I need to know what is the energy that is within inside of you that says none of that matters. What matters is the long haul, the long game. And what do you do? I want the ugly. Tell me the ugly.
Child.
I do it. Yes, there we go.
Because I'll be like, I mean, honestly, I do question myself. I'm like, okay, Lord, you sure this is what you want me to do? Because, you know, I would like to make money like consistently in my business. And a lot of the making money in my business is really because I really want to be a blessing to other people and other families. And it's hard to do that when you don't got no money.
Right. Okay.
So, you know, there are days I question myself. There are days I may cry. I'm like, all right, like this ain't it. I had a moment like last week where, you know, like our birthday's coming 35. Well, I'll be 35 tomorrow.
Okay.
You know, I have my business and I have other endeavors going on. And it just seemed like nothing is like rocking and gelling the way I wanted to. So I'm just like, I just had a moment. I just cried. And I was talking to the Lord and I was just like, you know, I don't know what's going on. I ain't seen my life like this. You know, I ain't even asked to be an entrepreneur like this.
Okay.
And so that's why I say is you need to do something that is purpose driven or have a strong enough why, because in those moments, it's so easy to just like walk away, especially when you have other options. Like for those who that are, because you know, a lot of us, we're multi-talented.
Yes, we are.
We have a large network where we can get a job if we wanted to, so a good paying job. So it's like, I don't have to do this. And so I do, you know, struggle with that sometimes. And I'm just like, no, this is what I called to do. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. I don't really have any other things that, you know, I have a good cry, you know, I talk it out with some people, and I do have friends around me that encourage me. They're like, oh, Michele, like you're doing good. When people see you, and they do, like at the moment when you feel like giving up, that's when somebody gives this amazing testimonial.
Yes.
Or that's when someone says, I've been watching your stuff for a while and I've been meaning to reach out to you. You're like, oh, people are paying attention, even though it's not as loud as I want. You are making momentum. You have planted seeds. You just got to keep watering it. So that the harvest will come. So I know my harvest about to be the bomb because I've been planting my blood, sweat, tears, money.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Y'all next year.
Come on. Okay. Claiming stages, claiming those webinars and those moments in the new book and this and that, and helping people to be empowered so that they are living their best lives. And learning how to budget themselves. So I'm going to go ahead and put your website back up there again so people are aware of where they can find you at buildwealthfaster.com. Once again, you guys are listening to Brownstone's Best for the month of July. This is KCCR Radio, the Brownstone Center. It's your girl, Paulette. We are here with Dr. Michele, who is the owner and founder of Build Wealth Faster. We are talking about the good, bad, the ugly of being one of the best of the Brownstone's best in Black business. And this is super important, you guys, because one of the reasons why we decided to do this particular series during the month of July is, first of all, it is Black Business Month. But then also, I wanted to make sure that we provided people who wanted to get into the business of being in business. We want to tell them the truth, that it ain't always pretty. Right? We want to make sure that people understand that you got to get in the deep down dirty of building the business, especially when there may not be financing. There may not be somebody behind you with a fat purse that can provide you a cushion until you do what you need to do. So here's the next question that I'm going to ask you. I heard you say earlier that you have a 9-to-5. For those folks who are interested in building out their business and they're still on their 9-to-5, right? What piece of advice would you give anyone who's on their last leg and they really still need to build their business.
On their last leg with their job?
Oh gosh, yes.
I would say one, if you know that business is going to be like your way out, or like, you know what, this is a great transition for me. Make sure you have that 3 to 6 months emergency fund, because in our mind, we think we're the bomb.com and that, you know, we just go start making money just because we said we are entrepreneur. Don't work like that. Your family, your friends are not always your customers.
Come on.
So make sure you have some cushion. So when the times do get tough, you got a little bit of money to hold you there. And that happens, and you want to maintain that, whether you're new in business or you've been, you know, because there are slow months sometimes. And then I would say, what was the other part of your question you asked?
The other part of the question is, where do you get the cojones to do what you did, to step out on that faith?
I mean, you just got to do it. Like, I don't really have a secret anything. It's just, you just have to do it, because I mean, if you don't do it, somebody else is going to do it, but can't anybody else do it like you?
Correct.
And honestly, there are certain people that are called to you. And honestly, that's the stuff that keeps me going, is that I know that are certain people out there in the world that are called to Michele's voice. Like, they're going to respond to me. They're going to listen to what I have to say. And they're going to go off to live the life of their dreams guilt-free because of words they heard me speak, not somebody else, me. And so again, I go back to that purpose and that why. If you have it, stop procrastinating, especially if you have been, stop waiting for another confirmation. You already know this is what you're supposed to do. Stop sitting on the sidelines. All you're doing is wasting time, and you are not getting money that has got your name on it. Stop being afraid.
Girl, you almost had me choke. Wait a minute. She said, oh, that was good. That was a nugget right there. Did y'all catch that? I'm telling you all, if you are not writing down what Dr. Michele is putting down right now, you have lost your mind, because these are really good nuggets. So ultimately, let me kind of wrap some of this up. And what I'm saying to you is that, girl, I did say July, didn't I? I meant August. So listen, this is the month of August. It is Black Business Month. Let me go ahead and clarify that. So the things that I'm taking away, here are my current takeaways right now. Number one, you were called for this time. Your personal experience helped you to build the fortitude and the idea to build wealthfaster.com. Okay. And when you say build wealth faster, that means understanding your cash flow process and working with those people who have found you on Google, no less, and paying those fees to either be a part of the group or to take your challenges and be a part of your free classes so they can get a clearer understanding of who you are and your style. And then also, even though there are, and here's a good takeaway that you just said that really kind of resonated with me. There's more than one financial coach or financial strategist. And the reason why there are is because, like you said, everybody is not your customer. And that's okay. That is absolutely okay. The right people are going to find you, and they will be blessed by connecting with you as one of your clients. Now, here's one question that I have for you. As a client, how long do I work with you?
It does vary. But honestly, it is until you feel confident to do this on your own. I had a client, she worked with me for about 6 months, 6 to 8 months. We might have skipped a month. And she was like, you know, I feel like she ended up having to use a lot of her money she saved up to purchase a car. She got in a car accident. But she wasn't down. She took her time. She's like, I had an emergency fund. I could take my time to buy what I wanted. And she's like, you know what? I'm confident that the things that I've learned with you, I can build my savings right back up again. At that moment where you feel confident, like you don't need to email me like, oh, Michele, what should I do? Or like you feel like you can make your own decisions without even thinking about me. You're ready to go off on your own, because our relationship is not meant to be lifelong. It's meant for a season until you go on, because you're going to go on to the next thing. Now you can handle more complex financial strategies, because before you couldn't handle it because you was afraid of money, or you didn't know how to manage it. If you got it, you would lose it, or, you know, splurge it on some silly stuff. Now that you do that, it's time for you to go graduate and go on to the next level.
I love that. I love that. See, and at least you have the clear mind and the fortitude to say, you're not supposed to work with me forever. You're just there to coach me along, to get me to where I need to be so that I can make better decisions for myself. Okay, so Dr. Michele, what's next for you? What's happening with Build Wealth Faster?
So buildwealthfaster.com is kind of like my online training, the trainings that I've been doing more recently. So that will probably go on for quite some time. But the next thing is I really want to build out my financial course. And that is where people can get a larger breadth. So that's that higher tier offering that I have. Where people can get like a larger scope of what finances are, what you can do, where you could go. And the biggest thing that I want to do that I was really been thinking more about recently is to give them opportunities to invest in. Because I can always show you and even connect you with resources, but to be able to offer those resources and those opportunities to you, that's a big thing, because I'm also a real estate investor and developer. And I believe in real estate, like, probably one of my number one ways to invest. I own multiple properties right now as we speak. And so, man, like,
no, ma'am, no, you're not going to slide that by. Y'all, did y'all hear her? Like, she just, I'm a real estate investor. So listen, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that really quick. Whoa. So what I'm hearing you say, and I'm going to put this in my own words, is that you have multiple streams of income.
I do.
And you do, from what I'm hearing you, is that something that you encourage for your clients once they're stable?
Absolutely.
Okay. And do
Let
you
me clarify that real quick, though?
Okay, very good.
Because I think a lot of times people think multiple streams, you start doing too much. Don't do the most. Get your first stream first.
Okay.
That may be a business. Do that. Because there's always going to be opportunities.
Right.
You do the one thing. And so my one thing is, it was real estate, but it's like, that's stable. I'm going to keep growing it, but I got some stable stuff. So now I can focus on my business. So I love that. Get a main thing, and then the multiple opportunities will continue to flow. But if you don't get good with one thing, you're never going to have any money. You're scattered everywhere.
Right. Got it. Okay. Well, thank you for clarifying that. It sounds like somebody else that we both know, John, and he was like, say the alphabet. Now, say 1, 2, 3. Now say both of them together. Can you do it? Nope, you can't do it. You have to keep your focus on one thing. So always understanding that you have to keep the main thing as a business owner. Now let's talk about Black businesses and integrity. Let's talk about that. One of the things that I have learned as a Black business owner, and trying my best to work more with Black business owners, is the integrity factor, the customer service factor, all of those things. What would you say would be your level of customer service, what you offer to your people? What should people expect from you as a financial coach? And what would you say to those of us who are new in being an entrepreneur about being your best and being excellent at what you do? Because let's keep it 100 now, since it's just us brown skin folks in the room. We already know the first thing that we are quick to do as Black business owners and as Black folks who are providing a service one into another, we're quick to say if something goes wrong with that service, I knew I shouldn't have put my money in XYZ. That's how come I only deal with white businesses, because I ain't never got. What would you say to those folks who are skeptical about doing business with Black businesses?
I would say there are good and bad people everywhere.
Period.
Like there's no way around it. Like, you're not going to go to one demographic of people and always find everything go right. You're just not. You're not. I just read an article on LinkedIn about that. Like, you can go to Walmart and repeatedly have a bad experience, but you keep bringing your money back there for whatever reason. You keep going back. But if you have one bad experience with a woman-owned business, with a Black-owned business, whatever owned business, all of a sudden, that's everybody. Like, that was one woman. That was one Black person. That was one young person.
Right.
Try somebody else.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. So what you're saying is don't lump us all in the same basket.
Don't lump, because we don't like when people do it to us. Like, that's what a stereotype is. Being lumped up in one basket, and unfortunately to each other. Like, I've had bad experiences, been in the real estate world. You're going to have, unfortunately, have bad experiences with contractors or whatever. I've had really great experiences with Black contractors. And I've had a couple where it's just like, it's a wrap. I won't recommend you. I'm not going to badmouth you. And I'll give you multiple opportunities to get yourself together.
Yes.
Because sometimes that, you know, people have a bad day, they get sick. You know, they're not, because we always take communication is like, they just, you know, they dipped out with my money. Like, no, sometimes people really be having life going on, and we just, you know, assume that they're not doing their job. Like some people have gotten sick and have been able to reach out. So, you know, give people a little grace, give them time to explain, you know, reasonable time. If it's going on, all right, it's time to move on. But I've given opportunities, and then I just have to move on. So, you know, don't treat us the same way other people treat us, because we don't like it.
Exactly. And then the other thing is I'm going to reverse that question. What would you say to Black business owners to remain in that level of excellence? And if you're not there, what would you say to those folks who need to do better? Because if it was up to me, I would get into my big mama mode, and I can't do that.
I think what I'm going to say is probably going to be different than what you heard.
Okay.
A lot of times what I see when Black business owners are not operating excellence is that they're operating out of scarcity. And they're saying yes to everything when they need to learn to say no. And what I mean is they're saying, can you do the job for me? Can you, you know, return this in a certain time? They say yes, when you know you can't. You have other things going on, but because you're thinking about the money at the end of it only, you're not considering your actual timeline. Now you ruin a relationship that could have been ongoing. So be okay with saying no and missing that one train this one time, because they could just come back. Like just because you can't do it now doesn't mean you can't do it later.
Come on.
I know for me, sometimes it's not urgent. I'm like, okay, well, when are you free? But you don't give me the opportunity to tell me like, oh, it's not urgent. When are you free? Oh, I can get you in 60 days. Cool, I can wait. But because we don't ever have that conversation, we ruin these relationships. And now we don't ever want to work with you again. And you don't, and some of us have really large networks. Like I have a network of other real estate investors. If you mess up, like I can't even refer you to these other people that would need your service. So it's just like, be okay with saying no sometimes. You don't have to do every single job. You can't do every single job. And stuff like that is preventing you from really going to the next level.
I love that. And so you heard it first from Dr. Michele, and you know what, this has been a wealth of information for folks. So let me ask you this in this final couple of questions that we have. What do you see for Build Wealth Faster? What are we going to see long term for you for the end of the year and into 2023?
The end of the year for me, I will be a 6-figure business.
Come on.
Yes, being able to guide multiple families to get their wealth journey started. So I tell people I'm at the beginning of your wealth journey. So, but to get there faster, there are just certain things you got to do. Like you can't. I'm in one program. The number one rule is don't skip steps. There are some things you just can't skip steps in. Like you can't skip for managing your money. You just can't skip and continue to be wealthy. Like the money will come in as soon as it comes in, it's gone. So I see at the end of the year helping at least 50 families get started on their wealth journey or just move further along on the wealth journey, actually become active investors, whether that is in the stock market, buying your first home, because that's also an investment.
Absolutely.
Buying a rental property or some type of, investment property. And there are just so many opportunities, or even helping people to get the courage to go start that business, because that's also a way to invest that people don't think about. You're investing in yourself for you to give yourself a better return. So I just want to help families get their wealth journey started and not stop dragging your feet. Like that's the biggest thing for me. Is that when I talk to people, I don't know if it's just fear. I have not yet got to the bottom of it, but I just feel like we just take time for granted. That's my biggest thing. We take time for granted. And I think a lot of us have gotten a little better at that, seeing how many people pass away, young people.
Absolutely.
During the pandemic. Like you don't have all the time in the world. Let me just say this real quick. If you don't have life insurance, I need you to get that like yesterday.
Come on, somebody. Yes.
Because you don't have all the time in the world. No. You can't assume that you're going to be there for your children, until they're grown. You may not be. And all you're going to do is be a burden on the next person, like your mother, your aunt, whoever is going to care for your children. If you don't have life insurance, you need to get that ASAP, because that's another way for your children to walk into wealth as well.
I love it. This is Amazing. You are absolutely amazing. Y'all, go ahead and check out Dr. Michele at buildwealthfaster.com so that you can go ahead and get ready. I understand. Do you have a challenge or something that's coming up?
So I have a challenge coming up. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be next month. Oh my goodness, time flies by.
Okay.
So I'm doing the challenge again. I got really great feedback and responses, and people really having transformative results. Like I gave one suggestion about how you can start to increase your income, and I went to my Facebook group and I was like, what are you guys doing to move yourself forward? And one girl said, I'm applying for a promotion. Like, we talked about it. I'm like, yes, do it. Put yourself out there. So yeah, I'm excited to get that going in September. So just stay tuned,
Absolutely.
Stay tuned.
Yes. And Dr. Michele, what we want to do is make sure that you're able to provide this to our community, Brownstone's Best, and also at the Brownstone Center. So whenever you are ready to submit that information, please slide it in my inbox so that I can share it with our community. This is exciting because what I love to see are Black folks, beautiful Black women, brown women, urban sisters doing their thing, handling their business, and providing back to the community exactly what we need. Because I can recall back when I was a young girl, hearing the conversations that my parents had early in the morning about how they were going to have to make A and B equal C. Right. And they weren't ever going to do anything but wave at each other. You know what I mean? So listening to you do this it's inspiring, and hopefully you'll be able to present this exclusively just as a one-time deal in the future. I'm keeping my fingers crossed. That's a hint that you'll be able to help us do that with the Brownstone Center and our Brownstone family, because I think that we're all here to empower each other and just be better. And the power of the internet and where we currently are allows us that opportunity to do that. So really quick before we wrap things up, you are once again listening to KCCR Radio, the Brownstone, and you are here with myself, with Brownstone's Best, and we have Dr. Michele that is here with me, your girl Paulette, owner and founder of BrownstoneWorldwide.com, which is actually launching September 5th. We're super excited about that. We're actually going through and checking to make sure that all of the bells and whistles and everything works. And of course, good is better than perfect. And so we're going to be moving along and making it work. And you're going to tell us exactly what you want to see. But one of the things that I definitely want to make sure that we do is let you know that if you head over to Brownstone's Best or also at the Brownstone Center on Facebook, you will be able to see this beautiful flyer right here for the Black Card. You're going to be able to enjoy premium experiences and shopping without paying premium prices. It's an exclusive membership that's actually built for the culture. You want to learn more? Head on over to, you guessed it once again, the Brownstone Center, and also KCCR, the Brownstone.com is where you're going to be able to get that information. We're super excited because Dino Cummings is going to be hanging out with us for Brownstone's Best, and you're going to find out more about the Black Card in the next coming weeks. So, Dr. Michele, before we wrap it up, I am going to leave the floor to you to provide some level of encouragement and any additional words that you want to leave for our audience. First of all, I want to thank you for coming and hanging out with us. I really, really appreciate it because everybody's got a busy schedule. So thank you for carving out the time to do that. So what words of advice can you give to your potential new clients and also for those incoming entrepreneurs who are on the fence?
I would say, don't let fear hold you back. There's like this fear of the unknown. I don't know what they think is on the other side of it. But if you truly desire to be somewhere different, whether it be, I want to lose more weight, I want to earn more income, I really want to buy a home, whatever that other thing is, stop letting the fear of the process, because sometimes that's what it is. The process seems hard. And so they don't even try. It's like I literally talked to someone the other day, like the process is what stopped them, the idea of the process, not even the process itself, just the idea of what you think it is. Yeah. Or it's going to take a long time. Well, the time's going to pass anyway.
Right. That's
you
correct.
might as well spend it doing the things that's going to move you forward. So I would say stop letting fear of the unknown, of the process, and maybe the timeline stop you from pursuing the things that you really want for you and your family, because it's really not just about you. It's not. Can we just stop being self-centered? So much. It's really not about us.
Yes, come on.
Children and grandchildren that we want to leave in a better place than where we had to start from. Some of us had to start from the bottom. Some of us had no boots. You know, so
come
you don't
on.
want them to have that same story. So move past that fear, move past that taking time for granted, and put yourself out there so they can have better than you did.
Absolutely. I love that. Come on. Yes, I love it. So, Dr. Michele, again, I want to thank you for coming to hang out with me here in the Brownstone virtual studios, right? And I want to make sure that we stay connected. And you go ahead and join. I'm gonna put a link somewhere where you can find it. Pop in and say hello to the Brownstone's Best, right? And also to the Brownstone Center. We want to make sure that we're getting your word and your ministry to the people, right, of the Corner family. So definitely, we're super excited about that. And one last time, we're going to put your website on the screen. Again, you guys, go to buildwealthfaster.com. Dr. Michele, it's been an absolute pleasure to having you on today. Make sure you guys that you go ahead and check her out. Go ahead and register for that upcoming challenge that she has coming up next month. You will not regret it at all. You want to stay on top of your finances. You want to find a way to control your cash flow. Dr. Michele is your girl, y'all. Let's go on ahead and get into it. You already know. Look, listen, I might be up there in age, but I already know with this. Hey, let's get to the money. Let's get to the bag. And she's going to absolutely help you to do that. You guys, I don't even want to leave because I feel like I'm missing some nuggets. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to encourage you to stay connected to the Brownstone, stay connected to Dr. Michele and buildwealthfaster.com. But absolutely go ahead and download the KCCR My Brownstone Living the app. Listen to great music, great shows, great talk. Right now, DJ Tony Sanchez is on the ones and twos with the Eye of the Storm, giving you jazz that can help you to relax for the rest of the evening. And then tomorrow is, of course, the Sunday brunch with me, your girl Paulette, where we help you rise and shine for your life. You guys, it's been real. I want to thank you guys for hanging out with us here at Brownstone's Best. We're going to see you on the next edition here on KCCR Radio and Brownstone Worldwide. Have a great night.